Yo, Pythagoras. Let's kick it.
I'm Sierra,
I'm Victoria.
and we are going to teach you the laws of sines and cosines. Just keep going. Everything will be okay.
The sine of an angle is the length of the opposite side divided by the length of the hypotenuse.
Many buildings are made with triangles to form a strong structure. We can see this in our world in buildings such as the Disney Epcot Dome. I drew a little picture for you. Here it is. This is my drawing of the Disney Epcot Dome. It is made with a lot of triangles, and if you haven't seen it yet, it doesn't look exactly like this. It's a lot prettier, actually. So if I were you, I'd go and see it. It's a very strong structure made with triangles that were probably formed using sine and or cosine, if not Pythagoras or SOHCAHTOA. Let's talk about sines, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
First, we're going to start with sine. I stated the definition earlier, but sine is used when you have one side and two angles. The law of sine is sine of big A over little a equals sine of big B over little b equals sine of big C over little c. Or you could write it with the little a on top and the big A on the bottom, and so on. The big A stands for the angle, and the little a stands for the side opposite of the angle. And that applies for the rest of them. So here we have one example. So let's say you have one side of 18 and you have a missing side, x, but you have angles with this angle 32 and this angle 105. So in order to find that missing side, you would have to write it like this. So you would have sine of 105 over 18 equals sine of 32 over x. And then you would have to cross multiply. So you would have x times sine of 105 equals 18 times sine of 32. And after you get rid of the sine 105, you move this so it is divided over here on this side. So then you would have x equals 18 times sine of 32 over sine of 105. And if you wanted to put in the calculator, sine 2
If you were to type it in the calculator, this is exactly what it would look like. And when we hit enter, here is the answer we come up with. Sorry, you guys. 9.875. And that would be x equals 9.875, meaning it would be the measurement for the side opposite the angle 32.
Okay, so here's a quick review of the variation of sine laws. So you will have sine A over A equals sine B over B equals sine C over C. Or you could do it the opposite way pictured here. And for sine, you will have two angles and one side, which is going to be a number. So to solve for x, you would have to put sine times the angle over the side opposite, and this will be a number, equals sine times the other angle over x, which is your missing side. After that, you will need to cross multiply, and you will need to use a calculator. And then you will input it into the calculator. And a quick tip is, check your settings and make sure it is in degrees so you don't have a negative answer. And this was a quick review of sine.
Okay, this is going to be the law of cosines. Or first, I'll give you a brief definition. The length of the adjacent side divided by the length of the hypotenuse. That is a cosine. Here is our unbearably long, disgusting equation. A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus, it's a little minus right there, 2 times bc. Also multiplied by cosine of a. Right here. You could also use this. B squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 times a times c times cosine of angle b. Or c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a multiplied by b times cosine of angle c. And the trick with this is you use each equation differently. If you're searching for c squared, you use this equation. If you're searching for b squared, you utilize this equation. Or a squared, this equation. It's just a little switch it up right here. Okay, now, here is an example. This triangle right here. Here's angle A, 21 degrees. And we have one angle and 2 sides. So, here is my equation. We're going to use a squared because that's what we're looking for due to the fact that we have the angle of A and not the side. And that is what we're searching for. So it could also be said to be x. Here's our equation. A squared equals 16 squared. You plug in the side right here, plus 18 squared, plugging in this side, minus 2. I believe that's actually cosine of 2. Yeah. 16, which is the side, times 18, which is the other side, times cosine of 21, the angle. Then, after we multiply this, we get a squared equals 42.25767, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But that is not our final answer. Is that your final answer?
No.
Like Jeopardy. When they ask you, you say no, because they get it wrong sometimes. Remember this right here? It's a squared. A squared equals 42.25767, blah, blah, blah. So, to get rid of a squared and get your final answer, you square root. So, once you've inputted it in the calculator, your final answer is a equals 6.5. Now we will show you how to put it in your calculator. We take our a squared, our answer, and we square root it. So you will do second x squared. I think you hit. Oh, dang it. Hold on, you peeps. I got it. It's okay. Don't worry. Oh, goodness. Square root of, then you type in a squared, 42.25767. Then close equals our answer right over here, 6.5 of what we've learned about cosines. This big scary monster right here is the equation. However, you do not use all of it. You choose which one you will be utilizing for your problem. Here is an example of how to solve any cosine problem. Right here, you will have one angle, which will be A. Usually you'll be searching for this side opposite, or if it's this, it'll be side opposite. This angle, it'll be side opposite, etc., etc. You'll have a number here, and it will explain the measurement of the side. You'll have a number here, it'll explain the measurement of this side. After you've gotten what you think is your answer, you take the square root of that answer. Because, as before, back in our equation, it is a squared, b squared, c squared. So, back here, you take the square root of your first answer. That will equal your final answer. Remember, do not be discouraged by decimals. They are a frequent occurrence, especially in math. Quick tip. Abbreviations for sine and cosine look like this. This is how they will appear in the middle of your calculator.
Wait, British Sierra, what if it is a right triangle?
Well, if it is, in fact, a right triangle, this right here is a right triangle, it will have a 90-degree angle in one of the bottom corners. Okay, now, you ask yourself, is it a right triangle? If no, we utilize what we did before, sine or cosine, and that you can input into your calculator. If yes, you can utilize SOHCAHTOA, which we will review briefly, or Pythagorean theorem. SOHCAHTOA. It is an acronym by an Indian who once lived, who is a very good mathematician as well, and here is what it stands for. Sine, opposite hypotenuse, that's so. Ka is cosine, adjacent, hypotenuse. Toa, tangent, opposite, adjacent. That is what you can use for if it is indeed a right triangle. Okay, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Here's an example of Pythagorean theorem. This is A, this is obviously B, and this is C. C will always be the longest side, what you were solving for. This is a 90-degree angle. Say that A is number 4, B is number 3. We input these numbers into our Pythagorean theorem or equation, and then it becomes 4 squareds plus 3 squareds equals c squared. Always remember that it is squared, not the exact answer. 16 plus, this becomes this, sorry. 16 plus 9 equals c squared. Then you can move to this step. 16 plus 9 equals 25. And because it is squared, you take the square roots of that and you get the answer 5. And that will be your final answer. 590,029,029.5. Oh my God, it's over already. This was the law of things we will never need in our lives, such as sine and cosine. I would like to thank you very much for watching my video, and now we will go to Victoria for our conclusion.
Hi, I'm Victoria, and we talked about the basics of sine and cosine, and I hope you enjoyed our video. Thank you.
Oh, Vicky, why did you have to go?
Beautiful friend. This is